Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 189. Using timeshares to raise money for charity. Something that is near and dear to my heart, and I started doing last year. I'm going to continue this year. So the main thing I want to talk about first is the overview. I'll go into this in detail after I tell you a little bit about my channel. But charity auctions and timeshares. It's like primo to have a vacation as one of the charity auction items. And I'll actually go through an example that I actually did for last year and go walk you through it. And then just walk you through the steps on how to donate a week to a charity, or even less than a week, but I'll use a week as the example. And then I'll go through my charity goal in 2024. And lastly, I want to wrap up with why you should consider donating. Particularly if you have points that might be expiring, you can take advantage of this. But before I go into the detail, I want to tell you a little bit about my channel, and I'll be right back to go into the details. Hang in there. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. Hey, it's back. First thing, talk about charity auctions and timeshares. So most charities have live auctions or nonprofits, not necessarily a charity, it could be just a nonprofit. A timeshare week in Hawaii will almost certainly be the top prize in the auction. So the auction price will be way greater than the maintenance fees, and I'll talk about that when I talk about the example I use. And more importantly, by doing this, you're going to create the buzz for the marketing of the charity event or nonprofit event, whatever you want to call it. And your cost is in my case, was much less than what the charity will gain as far as that. So it's not only do you donate some money and you can write that off, but you have a much greater impact on what the actual charity or nonprofit will gain. So that's my experience. Now let me talk about an example. Okay, now that's my example of my actual donation. And this is what I did last year in 2023. So I'm a board member on the USS Hornet, and for those that don't know, it's now a museum, nonprofit, in Alameda, California, which is close to Oakland, California. The carrier was known as, it was both World War II and Vietnam era, but most importantly, it picked up the crews for Apollo 11 and 12 when they got back from the moon. And on there's a Mercury capsule, Gemini, but there's also the Apollo capsule that I don't know if it's one of the ones they picked up, I think it is. But what's really interesting is they have the decontamination room, which was an RV trailer modified with safety, because the astronauts were in there 1 to 2 weeks. I think it may have been 2 weeks, but we are actually worried that we were going to bring back germs from the moon and wipe out human civilization. So the first couple moon landings, when they came back, they actually were in decontamination chamber for a while. There's a picture of then President Nixon looking through the glass, talking to the astronauts when they first got back, the Apollo level astronauts. So let's talk about the donation. I donated a 6-night vacation to Kauai at the Westin Princeville. Just thought it would be a good thing. It was a great auction item they had at one of their events. A lot of events on the carrier. My maintenance fees for that vacation is about $800. Interestingly enough, the person had a great time that got it. But the charity raised $3,500, or the, I guess, nonprofit in this case, raised $3,500. And this year, I'm doing 2 weeks in Hawaii. One with the Hilton and one with the Marriott in Kauai, Hilton in Waikoloa in the Big Island. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, it's fairly simple to do this, but here's how to do it. Just identify your favorite charity, nonprofit, whatever. confirm they have a regular event and do a live auction. I don't know that I would want to start with an organization that's never done it and try it, because I think they'd be less likely to be as successful. I booked the vacation about 6 months in advance. It was even, I think it was less than that. I ended up doing a week after Thanksgiving, so it wasn't the ideal week. It wasn't like it was Christmas week or anything special. It was just a week, and that's what I've done this year. They're not special weeks, they're just weeks 6 months out. Make sure that your timeshare allows you to add guests to the room so that the people that win the auction can check in. Then the next step is, after the auction is held and you find out the name of the person, get in touch with them. And I contacted them, and then what I did is I updated the reservation with their name, and on the ID they will be when they arrive. So that was it. I actually called the timeshare as well to let them know that they were my guests in advance, in case there's one of those questions. Well, I don't really know, Cliff. I just bought this at an auction. So that way you don't get any trouble with your timeshare organization for, quote unquote, thinking you rented it or so forth. Anyway, that's the process. Now let's talk about my charity goal for 2024. Not so much that I'm stating my goal, just giving you an example. But I wanted to give you the power of what is possible. So I mentioned I'm on the board of the USS Hornet, but I wanted to start an endowment. They don't have an endowment, so that what I want to do is, an endowment uses only the proceeds from investment gains for spending. The principal remains untouched. So if you can build in a large endowment, then you effectively generate income forever. A lot of colleges do this for scholarships and so forth, the major universities you would know. So I'm attempting to do the same thing, and I've done this in the past with other nonprofits. So my plan is to generate $10,000 myself in the things I'm giving. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to generate 2 weeks to Hawaii. If I get the same $3,500, that's $7,000. And then I'm going to donate 3 cases of good quality wine that I have gotten from wine clubs. I mentioned I live in Napa now, so I'm in the area. And my actual donation is actually $2,500 roughly, but it has the potential of maybe even more, but $10,000 into the nonprofit through the charity events. I think that's a huge benefit, like a 4x multiplier. And again, I don't know if I'll get it, it's hard to know, but last year I did better than that. So I think it's a reasonable goal, and I had donated some wine last year as well. So just really think it's an opportunity. If you own a timeshare, you have a tremendous opportunity to help your community. And lastly, why you should consider donating. I think I just mentioned it. You can have a big impact on your community, and it's easier than you think. All you need to do is what you know how to do, which is book a vacation in advance, have the ability to assign a guest to the reservation, and there are many charities that have live auctions. Your gift will be the most sought after prize of the auction, most likely. Your maintenance fees will be a deduction, and the auction will raise more than the cost. It's such a win-win opportunity. I'm excited about it because I feel good that I'm actually making a difference. You know, yeah, I enjoy my holidays and my timeshares, and I've been living in them full-time for a while, but I'm starting a real estate career, so now I'm letting my kids use my timeshares and using them for auctions. So I'm finding that I can have actually a bigger impact than I had for myself getting to see a lot of the world. So hope this video is great for you. Please give it a like, 2 thumbs up if you could. No such thing, but and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Thank you.